Shalom, brothers and sisters who have arrived here on this channel. Yesterday I had to do an emergency live stream for Brazilian people in Portuguese because Brazil has fallen into communism. We've been doing here protests. Most of the Brazilian people have been doing protests in front of the army headquarters around, all over Brazil, trying to stop this election that happened on October 30 from being fulfilled, because we all know that this is not correct. Something was definitely wrong, and many people, I'd say millions of people, were in the headquarters for over 60 days trying to stop communism from entering Brazil, but all the efforts were in vain. People were deceived by men who couldn't do anything for them. They put their faith into men and not into God, and therefore all of the efforts were in vain, and this here happened. So the current president now, he took power today. He is called Lula, and he is a communist. He is a friend of all of the dictators in South America here. It's awful for us Christian here in Brazil. He was sworn as president, and Bolsonaro, who used to be the president before, he fled to the United States in Florida. So he left his supporters by themselves. He didn't do anything. He didn't call the army. He didn't do a single thing to stop this from happening. And now this guy who was just in prison a year back then, the guy who had friends in the Supreme Court and was released from prison, his all of his criminal reports were wiped clean by their friends in Supreme Court, and he was able to take by force the election here in Brazil with some kind of hacks in the process that is digital here. So that happened, and he was just announced president today. He already is taking some things here to stop what Bolsonaro was doing for freedom, for liberty, and against communism. So he's already doing things here, and he said his own words that he will persecute, he will go after everybody that didn't take the jab in order to make it to oblige people into receiving it. So we can expect that in the beginning of this year here in Brazil, most likely some kind of persecution will happen to all of those who refused to receive the jab, and you know why. So this happened here, and I had to make a live stream yesterday for all the Brazilians in order to make them prepare for what is to come, because we know that we are about to witness a tyrant government that is not approaching, is already here now. So I said to them, what can we expect while we wait for our rescue here? So I'm going to do this quick slideshow here, because I know for most of you in the United States or some other countries this is not too relevant, but here brothers and sisters in Brazil, they are going to start to suffer heavily because of this government that just took power today here. But I will also talk about the rapture and the possibilities that we have here in this January. So let me just finish this real quick here, and then we go to the possibilities that we have for the rapture here in January, which is very likely to happen. So okay, so what can we do? What can we expect while we wait here for our rescue? So we can expect more taxes, so, or the rise of prices. So more taxes, this converts to the rise of prices here, and we already saw this happening here. Yesterday gas prices were about 1 real, which is our currency here, cheaper than it is today. So already increased by, let's put it that way, $1. It's not how do you say, up to the current exchange rate, but just so you guys know, it is like it increased by $1 or 1 real here in Brazil from yesterday to today. So the prices of things are already rising, and he took power only today. For this, we need a solution that is more income, to receive more income in order to be not uh, dependent on this government. What else? We know that more bureaucracy is coming, which implies less freedom. So they're gonna do life more difficult here in order to do anything that you want to do. For an example, today he already signed a decree uh, making it harder and harder to have weapons here. So Bolsonaro had this process being more easy, because in Brazil it is not easy to have weapons here like it is in the United States. But Lula already revoked that decree and is already making life harder here for this. So we need less bureaucracy in this situation. And this government also is bringing more control, which converts to more prohibitions. Just like in China, you cannot do anything if you don't have the passcode green, if you don't have good social scores. So the China method is coming towards Brazil because this is communism. They are bringing communism here, and that's what's going to happen in Brazil, and it started already today. Therefore, we need less control. We need less control in order to survive here this situation that is coming. And all of this, I concluded and I received confirmation for this, that we, especially here in Brazil, those who speak Portuguese, we need to start look at decentralized digital currency. And I will talk about this by the end of this video, because there are some prophecies, some confirmation for myself, and some confirmation from other brothers that watched my previous video and told me they had confirmation about it as well. So I guess something is happening in the world that is leading us, the Christians, to start looking at decentralized digital currency. What are the benefits of cryptocurrency that we are looking into? They are decentralized, which means the government has no control over it. So we all know that the Antichrist will come. They will bring a centralized digital currency in order to make all the people in the world to worship the beast. We know that this is coming. However, for now, while we wait for the rapture, while we wait for the Antichrist to come, there are still decentralized digital currency, and that means the government still has no control over it. We know that it is also anonymous, so the government cannot track the payments, the purchases that you do with this digital currency, and also can be very profitable. So we are able to achieve financial independence if we achieve profits with this digital currency, just like it happened to people who bought Bitcoin back then, just like to happen to people that bought Dogecoin as well. So a digital currency, it is profitable, and I will be explaining this later in this video. Just a quick note here that I want to bring attention. This could be the means in which God protects you and your family while we wait for the rapture. So this is mostly here for the Brazilian people who are going to go through some difficult times in this year. And also, God could give us the means to bless others and prepare refuges for those that will be left behind. So to achieve financial independence through cryptocurrency could be important here to survive the times that we have ahead of us here, and also to start to prepare some kind of refugee for those that we love who will be left behind. Basically, I will explain this a little bit further in the end of this video. So if you want to know more about this cryptocurrency and how to be decentralized, anonymous, and achieve profits with digital currency, stick by the end of this video and I will explain what I had with confirmations regards to this topic, and also how we can start looking at this, paying attention to this, and perhaps achieve this financial independence that we are looking for in order to survive this earth while we wait for the rapture. Now, moving towards here quickly to the chart that I made about the rapture. So this chart here, if you remember, I've been showing this for some videos already. This chart here takes a glimpse on everything that is very important for us throughout the year. So all of the biggest feasts in the Bible, all of the most important moments, the also the harvest season, the summer and the winter, everything that is very important in the Bible that relates to the rapture is in this chart. So we have been talking about this chart for a while and looking at where we are right now. We are this little ship that will appear here in the screen right now, and we are in the 9th month, the month of Kislev that the Jews call. The 9th month is a very important month because it's the month where Hanukkah happens. I know the Jews, most watchmen, they say that Hanukkah has already passed, but I have been telling people for a while now, and I'm going to emphasize this, that we are still within the 9th month. The 9th month didn't pass. The Jews are ahead 1 month this year, and they will be 1 month next year as well, because we have been looking at the sky clock. The sky clock shows us the sun, moon, and stars as a guide for us to understand which month we are in and which season we are in, and this is very important for you to understand, and I will emphasize. So the Jews called the 9th month when the sun were in Scorpio, and the full moon, which is always opposed to the sun, they called this the 9th month when the full moon were in Taurus, the second house. So basically they looked at the sky clock like this, and they called this the 9th month. But as you can see, they were ahead 1 month. They were calling the 8th month, the month of Scorpio, the month where the sun is portraying or showing the Scorpio, the 8th constellation, as the 9th month. So they were wrong. They are wrong by 1 month. We are now, I'm going to show you in the Stellarium app, that we are now like this, or about to witness this, where the sun is in Sagittarius, the 9th constellation, which translates as the 9th month, and the full moon will be in Gemini, pointing that we are indeed in the 9th month, which is the 9th constellation. So let me put out here the Stellarium for you to see. Today is the 1st of January 2023, and as you can see, the sun is precisely here in Sagittarius, and the moon is 78.3% illuminated. But if we go towards here the full moon, we see here that the full moon will be happening on the 6th of January 2023. So we have the stars, basically the 9th constellation, calling for us the 9th month, the sun pointing this 9th constellation, which is the 9th month, and the moon will confirm this for us, being in Gemini, which is precisely opposed to the position of the sun. So as you can see here, the moon will be in Gemini, precisely pointing towards the constellation that is right opposed to the 9th constellation, which is the sun. So as we can see here, now we are truly in the 9th month, which means for us that Hanukkah hasn't happened yet. Hanukkah will be in January 17, starting in January 17. Let me put it here for you guys. So starting here in January 17, that's the start of true Hanukkah, and we will go all the way until the 25th of January to be the 8th day of Hanukkah. If you watched my previous video, this is a very important date for us to look for, because Hanukkah is a very important feast. I'm not going to repeat here. If you haven't yet watched my previous video, where I tell you about Hanukkah and how important it is. I know that all watchmen already told you about the importance of Hanukkah, the Feast of Lights, but I add some information about this here, and I also show again how Hanukkah will be in January 17. all the way through January 25th, and also how this is the maximum point we can understand and perceive to be the moment where the fig tree prophecy applies finally to the last occasion, I believe. So the channel Gepte, he already told us about this information as well, and how this can be the last possible moment that the rapture can happen between January 17th and January 25th. A very important date as well. But I want to also make us watch for the full moon here in January 6th, because it's a very important story that is being told here in the skies. So as you can see here, the moon will be full moon, and the full moon will be pointing Gemini, the constellation of the twins. And this is a story about the twins in the Bible. One is Jacob, who is loved, and the other one will be Esau, which is hated. One will go to the throne of God, the other one will go towards tribulation. And the story behind this constellation also tells us this. So if we look under the constellation of Gemini, we can see here the constellation of Canis, which is a dog, the constellation of the unicorn, which could be translated as a chariot here, a mythic or legendary chariot. Under this there is another dog, and a dog is a very important symbol for the church, because the dog is considered to be the Gentiles here. The Gentiles are considered to be the dog in the Bible because of the root of Caleb. So Caleb with Joshua, they were the two only who entered the promised land. Joshua, of course, means Jesus or Yeshua, which is the Savior, and Caleb is the bride, because comes from the root word Kala, which is the bride. Caleb, Kala, and dog in Hebrew, they had the same root word, so that is very important. That's why a dog can be related to the church. Kala, the bride, the Calebs, and we see here under the constellation of Gemini, two dogs, which implies the church. Under the dogs we see a huge ark, which can be translated as the Ark of Noah or the Ark of the Covenant, the ark that will take us away from this world towards the throne of God in safety while people go through tribulation. So the ark here pointing the rescue. And if we look at the constellation of the twins and look above it, we see a different story, one that has a lynx. Let me just change here the hour so it is easier for you to see. But we can see here the lynx, a lion, a bear, and we can see here Draco, which is the dragon. So while one twin will go towards the ark, the throne of God, the other one will go through the beasts, the wild beasts of this earth, which are the bear, the lion, the lynx, and the serpent, which is the dragon, the old serpent, Satan himself. So we see the story of the twins here, very important for us, and the full moon will be pointing twins, while the sun also pointing here Sagittarius, also tells us the same story. So under the sun we see the wild beast, or the beast that comes from the earth, Sagittarius. We see the pavel, the bird that has a lot of feathers here. They are considered to be a symbol for the Antichrist, because he appears something that he is not. He cannot fly also, so he is a symbol for the Antichrist. But under it we see Hydra, the serpent from the earth, from the water. So the serpent here, and also the beast from the earth. While above the sun we see the eagle, which will take those who are faithful towards the throne of God. We also see another type of dog here, calling the church. This bird here, but in old constellations, used to be the cross. And we see the throne of God, Cephas, who will be here at the throne of God, the portrayer of the throne of God. So the same story will be telling us and this full moon of January 6th. January 6th full moon will be a very important full moon for us to pay attention to. After this, we will have another very big, I believe, another very big possibility here when the sun will be pointing Aquarius and the full moon will be pointing Leo. You already know that Aquarius means the time for the Antichrist, and Leo means the beast or our Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach. So this will be very important because on the 11th month, when the sun is pointing here Aquarius, the 11th month is the month of Shevat, and on the middle of the month, when there is a full moon, that's when we know it's Tu B'Shevat, or the Rosh Hashanah for the trees, the new year for the trees, and we all can be considered to be a tree for God, because those trees who give fruit, they are taken. Those who does not give fruit, they are cut down and tossed in the fire. So the new year for trees will be when the sun is in Aquarius and the full moon in Lion. Let me just show you guys here in Stellarium so you guys can see when this will happen. So this will be when the sun is in Aquarius and the full moon here will be in Leo. So as you can see here, full moon in Leo and sun about to leave here Aquarius. That's the new year for the trees, which will be March the 7th. March the 7th, full moon, when the sun is in Aquarius, a very important date as well. For the Jews, they will consider this to be Purim. So most watchmen and the Jews and most of the church will consider this to be Purim. But you will see here that by the sky clock, this is not Purim at all. So going back here to the next biggest watch, and I believe this is the biggest and final watch for this year, will be through Purim, which will be when the sun is pointing Pisces, a clear symbol for the church, for the fishes, which are the church. The 153 fishes are us, the church, the assembly, and the full moon will be in the Virgin, Virgo, which translates as Esther, the heathen, the bride who married the king. So the sun will be pointing Pisces and the full moon the Virgin, Virgo, the last possible moment for this year. And let me show you also here in Stellarium for you to see that this story is also perfect here in Stellarium. So this here is New Year for the trees, March the 7th, and the next following here month, the moon is full. As you can see, the sun is pointing Pisces, while the full moon will be pointing Virgo, the Virgin. That's when we consider to be true Purim. The moon pointing the Virgin, Esther, and the sun pointing Pisces. However, this date here, April the 6th, most watchmen, most of the church, and the Jews will be telling you that this is Passover. Can this be Passover if the sun hasn't even entered the constellation of Aries, which is the first constellation yet? No, this cannot be Passover, but the Jews will tell you that this is Passover. Also, some watchmen will tell you that this is Passover. However, this will be true Purim. After this, we will have true Passover, which will be when the sun is pointing Aries, and the full moon will always be in the 7th constellation, the constellation of the scales, Libra. So looking there, just so we can prove this, then the following month, on May the 5th, the sun will be pointing Aries, and the full moon will be pointing here precisely Libra. Let me just go a couple hours so you can see here that truly will be pointing Libra here. So Libra pointing by the moon, completely full moon, and the sun here in Aries, the first house, the first constellation. So this is true Passover on the year 2023, the 5th of May. However, most watchmen, all of the church basically, and the Jews will telling you that this is a second Passover, while indeed this is the true first Passover. However, going back here, for us, Passover is already too late because when the sun enters the first constellation, the first house, the first month, which is Nisan for us, or the constellation of Aries, that's when 2023 prophetically starts. And this for us is a whole nother set of possibilities because we are no longer under the year 2022 prophetically, and 2023 will truly start here in April, around April 6th, if I'm not mistaken here. Around April 22, I believe. So that's too late for us. There won't be another, all the confirmations with the number 22. For us, the gematria for the Bible won't be there because 22 is 22 Hebrew letters. 22 is also the number of chapters in the book of Revelation. So there are a lot of confirmations for the number 22, and the 22 will be out of the equation once the sun hits the constellation of Aries around April 20 to 22. So this is far too late. That means for us that the fig tree prophecy we have to revise, all of the patterns that we have saw with the year, with the 22s, with so many confirmations that we have been studying for so long now, we have been passed. So from that moment on, there won't be a pattern or a confirmation or a feast that will precisely tell us the rapture can or might happen at that moment. From that moment forward, we have no clue about when the rapture can happen or if anything does matter for the rapture to happen. So this is the latest we can go. It's Purim, which will be on April, and after that moment we will be clueless about the rapture that will be able to happen anytime for any reason, without patterns, with patterns, it doesn't matter. From that point on, we are clueless and we can understand that God is not following patterns, which is sad, but I believe the rapture will indeed happen before that moment, because otherwise so many patterns will be off the chart that it doesn't even matter if we seek out or search or study these patterns at all once it all has passed. So basically this is the rapture connection for us here at this moment. We have a possibility, a high watch possibility here in January, the beginning of January. We'll have another possibility by the end of January. Then the next one will be March, and then April, and that's it. That's it for us. That's the farthest that we can go. Pay attention that all of the watchmen, most of the watchmen, and not all of them, but most of the watchmen, they are 1 month ahead following the Jews. So the feasts will always be wrong. But if you pay attention to the sun, moon, and stars, they will always tell you when it is the months, when they are pointing the months, and when it's the perfect season for those feasts to happen. So always look at the sky clock that God himself left for us. We just need to interpret it correctly and adjust to the time that we are right now. So don't lose hope. Hanukkah hasn't happened yet. Hanukkah will start on January 17 all the way through January 25th, and that is a very important watch date for us to happen. And I'm really believing that this could be it for us. If not, I believe the next biggest watch will be Purim around April there of this year. But by April, it is so far from now that I have no idea what will happen to all of us by then. But I believe God will protect us until the end, until the time that we'll have to leave this earth. So to add into what we already are seeing. We are seeing more threats of war. This new Gentile year here started with North Korea threatening more missiles, Japan and now South Korea telling that what they will fight back what North Korea is doing. On the 31st day of December, the last Pope died. We are seeing here Switzerland and Finland about to enter NATO in 2023, which is a threat to Russia. We saw the record in snow that happened in the United States. Some sources of mine told me that even in Miami it started to snow, which is something unbelievable for me, because I was once living in Florida, and I know that there can be very hot. It never snowed in my thinking here, but if it snowed in Florida, man, that's a very big snowstorm that happened. So we see signs for the revelation to play out very soon here in this world. And we saw basically here in Brazil that this corrupt and communist government took power, and that is a hand for the red dragon from Revelation 12 that will persecute those who are left behind. The red dragon will try to persecute the child, but the child will be harpazo, raptured out of this earth before the red dragon can reach him, which I believe it is the faithful church. But those who will be left behind and the Jews, they will be persecuted by the red dragon, which I believe truly it is communism. You can see here on the top and on the bottom left corner that the symbol for the government that just entered here in Brazil, it is basically a upside down pentagram. As you can see here, it is behind the star there for the government. So this is what's going to happen. Started to happen here in Brazil. I believe persecution is very soon. So we must leave very soon in order to escape this thing that is happening here in Brazil. Now, just to conclude here, some information that I said that I will be telling. Cryptocurrency is a very important mean for you to be blessed, to bless others also, and to escape the current pressure that will be starting to happen in this year of 2023, because we know that the new world order, they will be doing what they can to fulfill the UN Agenda 2030, and they only have 7 years to fulfill it. And to fulfill it, they need to do a lot of things, basically control more people, reduce the population by any means necessary. They have to do a lot of things, and one thing that we can do in order to escape this for now is to have cryptocurrency. Basically, I had a confirmation with this through a couple of videos that some people sent me, that it is this. So one day before I had this confirmation, me and my wife, we were praying for God to help us achieve financial independence and to point us to a way that we can do this. And on the next day, on the following day, a brother here in Brazil that basically never sends us anything, out of nowhere, this brother sent us 2 videos. There are 2 prophecies here. Mostly they are in Portuguese, unfortunately, but I'm gonna kind of tell you what they say a little bit. So he sent me 2 videos that tells about the prophecies that they are going through the internet about this digital coin called Shiba Inu. So as you can see here, this is the coin. The prophecies tell us or foretells that this coin, which is very cheap right now, it's like less than 1 cent that you can buy this. It costs right now about a cent of a cent, so it is very, very cheap. The prophecy tells us that this coin will achieve an amount of value equals to be 1, 6, 10, or up to $13. So a digital coin, the currently it's worth to almost nothing. With about $10 you can buy a lot of this coin. It will eventually reach higher higher numbers, as about to 10 or $13. So if this prophecy is to be true, then God will most likely use this as a wealth transfer to give their child, God's child, a possibility to escape this red dragon trying to persecute them, and also to be able to make refugees for those that will be left behind. So the wealth transfer could be real. I received this confirmation on the following day after we prayed, and also on the night of the same day, I dreamed about this coin here going up 100%, and my wife also dreamed about this coin increasing by 10 times. So this could be a possibility where God will do this wealth transfer and bless his child in order to do his will here before the rapture. So I received this video and in this video, which basically tells us about this wealth transfer that could happen with this digital currency called Shiba Inu. If you are already familiar to this, I encourage you to have at least, I don't know, $10 worth of this coin here and leave it there. If it's true, good, you can get this financial independence and buy things to protect yourself and your family from the red dragon, the communism that is coming. Also, you are able to start to create refuges for those who will be left behind. So just so you know here, I believe this coin is worth right now 0.0008. Let me just do a quick Google search here. You can see here that right now the coin Shiba Inu costs 0.000008 cents of dollar. So with $10 you can buy like 10 million, about 10 million coins. If they achieve the price of $10, so let's just say here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. If you buy $10 worth of this coin here, you will be able to have about 10 million coins. And then if this 10 million coins turns to $10 each, that's about $100 million that we will have in order to bless others to buy refugees, and so much the more that God can do through you with this amount in your account. So this is a possibility here. I had to go through many videos to understand how to buy this, how to trade, and I believe this could be real in order for God to protect us from this time that we are about to witness, or witnessing already here in Brazil. If this applies to you as well, I encourage you to have at least a little bit of this coin, which can be very powerful, a very powerful wealth transfer for you to God bless you, your family, and others as well. And if you are not familiar to buying and selling cryptocurrency, I plan to do a private video, because I had to go through so many videos to understand how it works. I had to go through some scams that I had to pass, because some videos in the internet are scams. They are trying to take out your money. So I had to go through many videos to understand how this works, and I finally were able to understand basically, and I was able to buy this coin, and I want to teach you. If you are not familiar to this, but you want to go through here, and you felt that the need, that this is God calling you to do this as well, to be protected from this red dragon that is coming here, I ask you to send an email to me, or say in the comments, or try to contact me in some form, in order for me to prepare this private video and send to you in a way I'm thinking right now how to still, but I'm gonna prepare this private video in order to teach you how to have purchase this digital coin that could be very important for you to have a protection while we are still waiting for the rapture to come, and also to have a possibility here to achieve a financial independence that God may do to bless you and bless others. I'm not a prophet here. I'm just saying that I received this. I received confirmation for this in dreams, in after we pray, and some other brothers and sisters who watched already the video in Portuguese are already saying that they received more confirmations with this through me. So if this is also for you and you know how to deal with this, I encourage you to buy this coin. If you are not familiar, send me an email. My email is this here on the screen. So it's hicardex@gmail.com. So it's rycardex@gmail.com. You can send me an email and I will prepare this private video, and I'm going to send you to teach you how to purchase and do this without going through so many videos to understand how it works. Basically, I will be doing here through the Binance website. So Binance here is a place where you can buy and sell cryptocurrency. So I encourage you to, if you don't have yet a account here and you want to do this but you don't know how to, this is a website, Binance.com. Just register here, create your account, do the security information that they will require you to fulfill, and after that you can either search out on the internet how to deal with this, which will take you a while, or you can wait and send me an email and I will prepare this video for you in order to teach you how to at least be able to buy and trade your first cryptocurrency. This could be very important, a wealth transfer that God can do, or this can be also a way that you can buy and sell and trade with people without the government knowing what you're doing, without being tracked, without being prohibited from purchasing things. As we believe here in Brazil, this will come very shortly. So this is the Binance, this is the website, this is the coin, Shiba Inu. Also, some other people are calling this coin here XRP, important coin that is very cheap as well, but I believe mostly Shiba Inu here. We've received confirmation. And this is the means. If you already know, that's my advice. If you don't know, please reach me out here through my email. And through this email, you can reach me out here in order for me to send you eventually a link for this video that I will still do in private. So that's it, brothers and sisters. I pray that you are blessed, those that were here with me in this live stream. I hope that we all see each other very soon in the wedding supper of the Lamb. I pray that the rapture is very soon. Hopefully here in January. If not in January, up to April we have this possibility. But the sooner the better. And pray for us here in Brazil, because we're gonna go through some very hard times right now with this red dragon that was just implemented here. They were trying to give everybody a forced requirement to receive the jab. They will try to implement here China's method of controlling social scores and everything that you can imagine that will come through this new government that basically just got into power because the previous president deceived people. He fled to the United States. He basically gave this false hope of that something would happen with the military, but basically what he was doing is just preparing people and making people be waiting without doing anything in a heated form. He was just preparing people to accept what is to come. And we knew this back then, but now it's even worse to be in this situation. So pray for us here that we might leave soon. Get your families ready. Get ready for the rapture. Be tied with Christ because we are soon to leave here. And I will see you in the next video or very shortly in the wedding supper of the Lamb. Maranatha, brothers and sisters, I hope that you were blessed by this, and I hope to see you very, very soon, either here on YouTube or on the wedding supper of the Lamb. Let me just quickly here answer this question on the chat. Does the digital currency you recommend applies here in the Philippines? Yes, this digital currency, they are worth the same value everywhere in the world. You only have to understand how to buy it with your digital currency, your fiat, which has a different method, but you could purchase that, and that will be valuable everywhere, and you can trade that for several other coins, dollars and Bitcoin and whatever there is on the digital currency market. But that's it. Maranatha, all brothers and sisters. May God bless you and keep you, and make His face shine upon you. Maranatha.